Hi boys and girls, it's Mrs. Dearman and I'm here to go over how to add and subtract fractions with the same denominator. So first let's just quickly review a couple things. Remember that the top number of a fraction is called the numerator and it will tell you the number of parts that you are talking about or that you identify. Like it might be how many colored pieces, how many uncolored pieces, things like that. Then your denominator always tells you how many parts make a whole. Okay, so for these two fractions, if you notice, they both have an 8 as the denominator. So that means it would take 8 pieces to make a whole. So there's 8 pieces here, and there are 8 pieces here. So we're going to be talking about adding and subtracting fractions where the denominators are exactly the same number. Okay, so let's do that using a model. So our first picture, or our first fraction, is 2/8, which means that I'm going to take this picture and I'm going to color 2 of the pieces. Okay, and then I'm going to add another fraction that is 4/8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if I were to put these pieces together, so I was to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then that means I would have colored 6 pieces. Now, what's my denominator? I colored 6 pieces, but how many pieces make a whole? This is a tricky one. A lot of third graders go ahead and do 8 and another 8, but that's not the answer. If I have 2 pieces and then I add 4 more pieces, I still have 8 pieces that make a whole. So my answer would be 6/8. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, this next example is divided into fourths because fourth is our denominator. So this one says 1/4. Okay, so 1/4 is red. And then if I decide that I'm going to do 3/4 in this one, and then I count them all together, the ones that are colored, 1, 2, 3, 4, then I have, my answer is that I have 4 that are colored out of, what's that denominator again? How many make a whole? 4, that's correct. Oh, 4/4. What if I was to move this red one over here and color it here instead? What do you notice about this? That's right, it's all full. So that means that, remember, 4/4 is the same thing as 1 whole. So you might see 4/4 as an answer, or you might just see a big 1 as the answer. Remember that they're both the same. Now let's do a subtraction one. Okay, now we're doing a subtraction one. And if you notice, just like regular subtraction, your larger fraction, 5/6, needs to go first because 5/6 is a larger fraction than 2/6. You also notice there's only one picture. So in subtraction, you use just one picture. So our first fraction is 5/6. So I'm going to go ahead and color 5/6 of my picture. Okay, now that it's subtraction, instead of adding more pictures, I need to take away my pictures. So I have 5/6, and I'm going to take away 2 of the 6ths. It doesn't matter which 2 you take away. So how many do I have left? 1, 2, 3. And remember, my denominator is 6. What have you noticed about my subtraction with my numerators, my addition with my numerators, and then what happens with my denominators? If you said we add or subtract only the numerators and you keep the denominators the same, you are right. So if you didn't have any pictures, you could still do this in your head. Just remember, your denominators are staying the same. Okay, now we're going on to a challenge one. Are you ready? Okay, this one doesn't look much different, but it is. All right, let's start by coloring in our fractions. 5, 6 means I need to color in 5 out of my 6 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one says I need to color 3 of my pieces. 1, 2, 3. Okay, what's my total? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 that are colored. And my denominator, remember, it always stays the same. Am I done? Something looks kind of weird with that fraction. Do you know what it is? Some of you noticed that there's a larger number on top of a smaller number. That is called an improper fraction. You might see that as an answer, but we might need to change it to something that we learned called a mixed number. Let's see how we can do that. Is there anything I can do with my blues? And possibly do something to my reds with the blues? Let me give you a second to think. I heard someone thinking that they could take one of these blues away and put it over here and fill this one up. You would be right. So now, what do I have here? You're right. This is one whole. So I put a big 1. And what's left over here? 1, 2 out of 6. So 8/6 is actually the same as 1 and 2/6. Did you see how we did that? We took some from here to try to fill it up. It's kind of like if you were at the place where you make the food on the thing right in front of you. They try to fill all of the tables. I think it's Kabuto. They try to fill, or Yamato, try to fill all of the tables before they add people to a new table. So we took an extra person from here and added it to here to fill up a whole table. And then we had 2 left. Okay, so sometimes you'll learn that. Now, when you get to 4th grade, you'll learn something called simplifying. Don't worry about doing that this year. So if your parents try to get you to simplify, don't worry about it. 1 and 2/6 is the same thing as 8/6.